medical facility in town. On the night of Sunday breaking Monday, Dreamland Snack Bar at Mile 2 Nkwen in Bamenda 3 subdivision came under heavy attack from a group of armed men. The attack ended with the alleged killing of a bike rider and the injuring of 7 other people. The attacks are said to have been carried out by fighters. Defense and security forces later intervened to push back the attack. The gunmen are said to have been reinforcing the ghost town as the attack took place at about 3 a.m. when it was already Monday. Some hours later, residents of below Foncha and Taxing quarters woke up to discover the corpses of 4 young men and a girl whom some people identified to be Amber fighters. They are alleged to have been killed by defense and security forces in retaliation to the Sunday night attack on the snack bar.
Haruna Penfeme's mobile money shop remained closed today. The operator, in his 50s, had left the shop on July 8 night and walked just a few meters to join his wife at her counter located in front of their home, now also closed. It was there that he was ambushed by unidentified assailants around 10 p.m., stabbed multiple times and left for dead. I rushed to help him, but unfortunately he died. They also took his bag. He had 4 phones in his pocket, but they didn't touch them. He was stabbed at least 5 times. By morning, shock and sorrow still linger in the neighborhood. Some residents who witnessed the incident remained traumatized, while others only woke up to the devastating news. One neighbor recounted that the attackers arrived on a motorcycle.
There were 2 of them, then 3 bike. Then they were using knife on him. The man it was not easy for him, but he really showed powers. But things were very hard for him. Yes, blood was coming everywhere because they put knife everywhere on his body, on his head. The man fell down.
Haruna had reportedly prayed at the mosque earlier that day. The local imam says he still cannot get the news of his brutal killing out of his mind.
Nous sommes à côté des marchés Kouloulou, gare, cordon, carrefour, Moukar. Nous sommes entourés. Tout c'est un mauvais endroit.
At press time, security forces were seen patrolling the area. They reviewed surveillance cameras mounted on nearby but declined to comment on the ongoing investigation. The attack has reignited fears about rising insecurity in the New Bell neighborhood. Hauna's home remained closed as his body has since been transported to his native village in Bamun for burial.
The suspected gang of delinquents aged between 16 and 25 are being accused of organized crime and assaults on citizens in broad daylight with the use of light weapons.
Majoritairement repris de justice, âgés en moyenne de 17 à 25 ans, qui évoluent au niveau de l'omnisport et ses environs. Ils consistent dans leur manœuvre. Leur manœuvre consiste à arracher, cambrioler dans les domiciles des particuliers et à piller en bande.
According to the Ngusu Gendarmerie Brigade, a special crackdown led to the arrest of the suspects in possession of machetes, daggers and sticks.
La journée du 2/7/2025, aux environs de 17 h, sur renseignement, nous sommes déportés à hauteur de Nouvelle Route Omnisport où nous avons interpellé 7 jeunes gens, tous porteurs d'armes blanches. Leur exploitation sommaire nous a fait savoir qu'ils étaient les légitimes auteurs de ces actes criminels.
The population of the Yaoundé 5 municipality have been in panic since they are alert of the presence of the so-called microbes in their neighborhoods. This is the third time that the gang of microbes has attacked the inhabitants of the political capital Yaoundé. The last was at the Mokolo market on June 5. The Nkozwa and Olembe neighborhoods have also experienced the atrocities of the much talked about criminal group that has been existing for about 5 years in the city of Douala.
On July 14th, lawyers from all 10 regions will converge in the capital to vote for 15 members of the Bar Council. From amongst them, the new bâtonnier, that is, the president of the bar, will be elected. But even as the democratic process takes shape, the profession is still faced with long-standing challenges that many say cannot be ignored any longer.
We have the harassment of lawyers by the security forces, the gendarmes, the police, the army. The lawyers have been harassed in the course of performing their duties as lawyers for the poor, for the rich, for the voiceless.
Beyond physical threats, lawyers say the law that governs their profession is outdated.
The bar law is an act of parliament. It's very obsolete. It's an old law. It needs to be amended. We are close to 6,000 lawyers in Cameroon, including the avocat stagiaire, what they call the advocate in training. And only 15 lawyers determine the fate of lawyers in Cameroon. That number is too small. So being an act of parliament, there's a necessity for that law to be amended so that the number could be increased, even 25 members, it could be increased to 25.
The list of grievances doesn't end there. Many young lawyers feel ill-equipped when they begin practicing.
We realize that what is teaching in the university is not exactly what is applied on the field.
Others worry about rising competition from emerging unregulated professions, which they see are encroaching on legal territory and destabilizing the sector.
The legal profession is increasingly threatened by unfair competition from emerging professions, making it more precarious for young lawyers. Despite operating in a difficult environment, lawyers driven by passion remain a vital force for proposals and reform within the Cameroonian bar.
A major sticking point is also the lack of electronic voting. As things stand, lawyers must travel from as far as Manfé or Bertoua to Yaoundé, sometimes spending up to 5 days just to cast a vote. They therefore clamor for electronic voting, just like it is done in neighboring Nigeria.
End of the second ordinary session of the National Assembly for the 2025 legislative year, this July 8th in Yaoundé. Closing 1 month that saw the adoption of 3 bills, the holding of a budget policy debate session for 2026 financial year. Extra parliamentary activities were also carried out by members of the National Assembly. The big parliament's family, National Assembly and the Senate, sat together to administer the oath of office to Monique Oli Dongo, appointed member of the Constitutional Council. Despite this, the CDU MPs were looking forward to many, such as
the amendment of electoral code before presidential election in October. We didn't get it because government maintained its position to go to this election with the same electoral law as 2018.
Like the SDF, doing their best to the benefit of the population, as the people's representative, they also feel disappointed. When you are in a National Assembly that behaves like a sub-department of the government, it becomes a bit embarrassing. And despite our contribution, whether good or bad, that is no longer the debate today. The debate has shifted to the presidential election, and the SDF is going to play her role. The House Speaker, in his closing speech, reminded the parliamentarians to reach out and mobilize their compatriots to go out and cast their votes at the appropriate moment.
We think our responsibility is to go to the field and sensitize our population, the electors, to massively go to the poll and control their votes. At the end, our country will continue to be in peace, and we think the expression of the people who has our sovereignty will be respected at the end of a presidential election.
This June session is the last before the presidential election to be held in October this 2025.
As Cameroon inches closer to the October 2025 presidential election, growing uncertainty over President Biya's intentions has triggered a wave of confusion within the ruling CPDM party. The question hanging heavily in the air: will the 93-year-old president seek another mandate, or will he finally bow out? Though the presidency remains cloaked in official silence, mixed signals from senior party figures and government ministers are fueling internal fractures and public speculation. What should be a unified message from the ruling party has instead morphed into a cacophony of contradictory declarations, exposing what appears to be deep uncertainty or even strategic miscommunication within the CPDM hierarchy. The recent remarks by regime figures, Communication Minister René Sadi and Higher Education Minister Professor Jacques Famdongo, reflect more just personal opinion. Minister René Sadi took the most measured approach. In what could be described as a rhetorical coin toss, he floated the idea of a 50-50 possibility, subtly invoking President Biya's own words during a joint press conference with French President Emmanuel Macron in Yaoundé on July 3, 2022. Then, when pressed about retirement, Biya stated, "I am still fulfilling my mandate. When the time comes, Cameroonians will know whether or not I will run or retire to my village." Sadi's prudence suggests both caution and reverence, leaving observers guessing rather than knowing. In contrast, Professor Famdongo's declaration was markedly assertive, as though privy to a private presidential vow. His tone carried the emotional certainty of someone who not only believes but insists, as if sleeping on the same ideological pillow as the head of state. Yet, in a political landscape where silence often speaks louder than words, such proclamations risk becoming misleading signals rather than insightful forecast. What all this reflects is not just a communication gap, but a potential struggle, or at least the absence of a unified strategy. Comparisons with Zimbabwe's late Robert Mugabe are not far-fetched. When asked when he would say goodbye to the people of Zimbabwe, Mugabe famously replied, "Where are the people of Zimbabwe going?" If history is any guide, Biya's ultimate decision may...
In the hearts of Bonis, near Kutu, a building Floral enterprise is taking roots, spearheaded by local florist Joseph Damburu Combel. After 7 months of specialized training in Yaoundé, Joseph has embarked on an ambitious project to cultivate natural flowers, aiming to revolutionize decoration methods in the region.
Je suis parti à Yaoundé faire la formation parce que j'ai aimé ce que veut dire les fleurs.
He says he learned new techniques that he believes can transform local floral industry. His vision encompasses not just the cultivation of flowers, but also the introduction of innovative decoration styles that reflect both tradition and modernity.
Il y a les potos, il y a le cheffera, il y a les pommelles.
Currently, only 400 square meters of the plant's 1 hectare sites are under cultivation. However, with the support of his family, particularly his brother Robert Ketare, Joseph is optimistic about the project's expansion. It's a family endeavor, notes Robert, highlighting the collective efforts behind the initiative. The project has already seen an investment of $500,000 francs CFA, with the first harvest of bouquet-ready flowers anticipated in 2026. Joseph is actively seeking partnerships and contacts to further his mission, aiming to position Bonis as a hub of natural floral decoration.
Les clients me contactent, je travaille avec les gens de Yaoundé.
This venture not only promises economic growth for the region, but also underscores the potential of integrating traditional practices with contemporary techniques to foster sustainable development.
From locally crafted traditional chairs and garments to handmade shoes, slippers and various other artisanal creations, the vibrant world of Cameroonian craftsmanship is gaining prominence. These artistic expressions not only showcase the rich cultural heritage of the nation, but also serve as a platform for youth empowerment and the promotion of made in Cameroon products. IVARA, Association Internationale de Valorisation de l'Artisanat Africain, established in 2020, is at the forefront of this movement. The organization's mission is to valorize African crafts by showcasing talents, providing opportunities, and building future industries capable of transforming raw materials into finished products. By doing so, IVARA aims to create job opportunities for African youths and support creative and talented individuals captivated by the potential of craftwork. This initiative was highlighted during a ceremony held at the Bell Canton, symbolizing African identity and culture.
It was important for me to sustain the artisanal, because that is the build of our identity. That is a symbol of the Africanity.
During the ceremony, 5 outstanding craftsmen were recognized and awarded for their unique pieces, underscoring the importance of promoting locally made products.
If you are not recognized in your continent as a good artisan, it's difficult to you to develop your business in the international. So today we thank the government of our country, Cameroon, to come in this occasion. The King of Bell, who accepted to give his unction to this operation.
The event concluded with the signing of a partnership between IVARA's coordinator and the rabble of the Bell Canton, marking a significant step towards strengthening the support for artisans and the cultural heritage they represent.